Can never let go of the steam. Can never let go of the steam. It's always good. It's always good. Now, of course, you may be seeing that it's a little late. Mark's running a little bit late, but hopefully not as late as last week where he didn't show up at all.
Yeah, he stood us up.
Yep, completely stood us up like a prom date. Damn, we were out here waiting. We got the gifts out for him. We got Jeremy's mom all over the place, and then just like just there. Mark's gonna show up when he shows up. We'll see. Oh, what's that? What's this image down here? If you were on the Discord, you know. I called this out, and I said I was gonna have it be showcased off. You didn't believe me. But it's down there.
I have no idea what that is, but enlighten
me. It's like a very ugly drawing your kid did, but then you put it on the refrigerator anyway. That's what someone on the Discord did. And they were so embarrassed to show it. And I was like, you know what? For that, I'm going to go ahead and demod you. And I'm going to give you 2 infractions for that. And then, by the way, I'm going to showcase this off on my live stream on Friday. So here you go. So I just handed that out. Handed it out. And I mean what I say.
That's what you get for being artistically talented.
Absolutely. I think it's some Tron Sonic hybrid thing that he colored outside the lines. It's terrible. It's completely awful. Completely terrible when it comes to that. But hello and welcome to TokuTonic Gold Edition, where, of course, we've got some golden news that came out. Sadly, it's not Golden Week in Japan, but there is a lot of other golden shit that ended up happening this week, which we'll get to in a little bit. But first of all, Ash, how are you this fine? Morning for you.
Morning. I am doing good. It's a fine morning. Woke up pretty early, got a couple of things done. Somewhat busy week at work, but yeah. Been doing pretty good. I've been working on an upcoming video that I'm hoping to drop. I want to get it out by Wednesday or Monday, maybe, but I'm working on that.
Cool. I obviously took this week off. Needed a break. Of course, we're putting out content out for 2 years straight on a weekly basis. You can get birds out, and I definitely was there. I was definitely feeling it, especially with a lot of the heavy editing that had been going on. So I was just let me take a break. This seems like the perfect time to do it, especially with the 2-parter of King-Ohger we had going on this week and things like that. It's funny that even though I said I was going to go ahead and take a break, I still got some comments this morning going like, it's Friday. You're going to upload them yet? You're going to upload those reviews? And I'm like, no, you should realize it takes like 5 hours to edit just one video. I'd be like literally cramming all day today just to try and get those reviews out and then set up for TokuTonic and all that. I'd burn myself out even quicker. So yeah. No, I'm just going to double up next week. I'm just going to double up with King-Ohger and Gotchard this upcoming week. So we'll see.
You're still going to look at doing Gotchard, or are you going to build up the episodes and recap them like 5 episodes?
I'm thinking there's going to be a major shakeup with Gotchard coming up soon, especially given how this latest episode ended. Especially since once we get into the Kamen Rider Legend of it all, that's supposed to end up dropping on November 5th.
I think, because I just looked at the wiki.
1, 2, 3, 4. So we technically have 4 weeks until that major thing ends up happening, but that also means it won't be episode 10. It'll be episode 10.
Yeah. And will it be subbed in time? Because it always takes a while for those side specials get subbed.
We'll see, especially if it is a side special that ends up just tying into the series as a whole, especially since we've been hearing rumors and hell, technically all of Legend had been leaked ahead of time. Once again, the spoilers for like Kamen Rider and Sentai recently have been too good. Yeah. Like, they've been on the ball money. Whoever has been masterfully leaking all this stuff has been on a roll, because we saw like key art of Legend that people were brushing off as like a decade fan art for the longest time. And it was official. It was official the entire time.
Was it the same guy that did the drawing? Because I saw the drawing for the Legend driver a while ago, and it looks almost exactly the same from what that drawing looked like.
Yeah, I think it's the same person that was leaking out
Hmm.
the Geats drivers and stuff, that all the
Yeah.
buckles that we had. Yeah, because they drew that buckle well ahead of time, and I was just like, that just looks like an amalgamation of Decade and Beast from Wizard.
Yeah.
And then we get the suit, and it's an amalgamation of Decade and Beast from Wizard. So, we'll get into that when we get into it. First of all, we had superhero time this week, in which Gotchard was indeed a thing, and King-Ohger definitely felt like a two-parter. It had that pacing going on for it. But then, of course, later on, we'll get to the bigger news, which is, of course, the reveal of Kamen Rider Legend and a continuation when it comes to Garo, particularly the Ryuga verse of it all. Because if you know anything about Garo, is that there's alternate different timelines when it comes to it. So all of that is there. So let me go ahead and queue up the screenshots for Gotchard this week, which I did actually get this week. So we got them screenshots. Hopefully Mark ends up popping up as he does. But then let me go here, share screen. I just disabled did all the cookies to the computer, so it's like I don't remember anything that you signed on to before. Yes.
Yeah, I did that a while ago, and I had to sort of do a password remember for most of them.
There we go.
Hey.
So on Gotchard this week, we have terribly rendered Sonic here. Gonna be here being covering up our screens. When I forget what the phone conversation was, but this lady was mad as hell. Mad enough.
Mad at the boyfriend because they got dumped or something like that.
Well, it's okay because Best Girl Lacti showed up over here. And boy, is she in this episode, because we get a lot in here of her. A lot in here as she, starts instigating the problem. How do they get these people so mad up? They gaslight the fuck out of them. And that's exactly what we get with Lactis and this lady here. So, all these perfect scenes just lined up as she starts. I don't know how she got the pepper, but she got the pepper, and she's about to put a pep in her step. But that's when Spanner shows up and sucks up that pepper, and also does alchemy by picking up two random objects from the woman's house and then just merges them together to toss Lactis out. That's some quality.
It looked like she got team rocketed out of the building, but then the next scene she's just outside the window, which was really weird to me.
She did not go far at all. That's some terrible propulsion we got going out there. But yeah, lady should definitely be wondering, is he gonna pay for her furniture that's now gone? Because that's furniture. That's a coffee table. That's a futon. That's got to be at least $80. At least $80. So who's gonna pay for that? Spanner is? I don't know. But here's some more Lactis. Getting mad at Spanner just being Spanner. I just noticed up that her nails are gold. Perfect for tonight's theme. Just being mad at Spanner as he walks away, but she's not the only one mad, because Mr. Fabulous Musical Number here, without the music, just shows up, and man, is he very musically inclined without being musically inclined. This man just looks like he's coming out of a Broadway musical. Just someone forgot the background track playing. I was legit just expecting snaps to come out as he was stepping out. Man.
Leora is from Hunter x Hunter.
So we now join Hotaru and his friend as he serves him a carrot. Well, there's other stuff on that plate, but needless to say, food's not so great. But then Spanner shows on up, and he's just like, all right, give me some food. I'm here. Make me some food. So Hotaru fixes up a plate, and it's not so great. It's definitely not so great. How not great is it? That's how great it is. Hey, look. It's just a meatball. It's just a meatball. I may have stretched out the meat and pixeled it out, but it's just a meatball. It's just a meatball. YouTube, it's just a meatball. I'm just saying. So he decides that afterwards, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna show you some real cooking, and he makes some purple omelet and some veggies and some other eggs there. So you side your eggs with a side of eggs. You just make little faces on there and put some, I don't know what the fuck that is, cranberry sauce. I really don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah.
But apparently it tastes amazing. I don't know. Would you eat this dish?
Yeah, I think I would. I'm wondering if whoever puts out the Sentai books is going to put like a Gotchard cookbook out.
I don't know. Like most of Hotaro's stuff should be diabolical. Like we don't need to see that.
I mean, they do that, but then there's like cookbooks for like Skyrim and Fallout and stuff like that.
I don't know, chat. Would you guys eat this? Like I don't know. Something about purple eggs just, I don't know. I can't commit to a purple egg.
I'll take a bullet for the team.
And then I don't even know what that sauce is. That sauce might have more sugar in it than, I could take on my keto diet. So, nah, there's something in there besides it being something's got to make it purple, and it better not be like red number 7 mixed with blue number 2 or something like that, because then you're just adding chemicals to that shit. Nah, I don't trust it. It's probably great flavored eggs. Sounds disgusting. Either way, everybody's blown away by it. They're like, man, it's actually good. I don't know what ube is. What is ube?
I want to Google it right now.
Go Google ube.
Japanese sauce, I guess.
I need to know.
Ube. What is ube in Japanese? Ube yarns have a rough. I think it's a like yarn. I guess it's a yarn that you can turn into a sauce.
Well, now I definitely can't eat it, because if it's a yam, then that's nothing but carbs. I can't eat that shit.
Yeah, it's purple yam, it looks like.
Disgusting. Nah. Can't do it. Can't do it. But, Hotaro's not liking this guy, especially as he's coming over here and just showing him up. So he's going to stalk that man. But there's someone else stalking this man. It's Mr. Fabulous Broadway Musical Guy. And he just happens to be Amalgam and turns into Hawk Amalgam. I don't know what, there's something else tied into this, I think, but it's Hawk. It's a Hawk Amalgam. Great. And, they fight, but then, of course, Gotchard shows on up, and he's going to go ahead and pull out the new form. But too bad the new form doesn't last too long, because dude just flies away. So now back at school, they start discussing about if they know anything regarding, why Spanner would be doing this way, how this guy potentially knows him, things like that. And then, of course, Hotaro likes the thought of Spanner just getting done in, because, of course, he would. Completely does. But that's when Sensei Minato shows up to look up who this guy actually is. And one thing I found Minato is looking up at Boruto. I'm just like, y'all know what the fuck y'all were doing. This subtle Naruto reference here. It's Naruto's dad and then Naruto's son. God. Okay.
There's got to be another pun in his name apart from the Boruto, like the Namazaki?
Yeah, so it's Namarizaki.
That's got to be a pun for something.
Well, because if you think of Minato's name in Naruto was what was it? It was Namikaze, something like that.
Namikaze, yeah.
Yeah, and then Uzumaki. So I'm just like, y'all kind of merging names here.
Y'all
I
think Uzumaki meant whirlpool, if I remember correctly. Let's see.
So yeah, he explains that he was the final challenger to become a super S rank alchemist when graduating from the academy, and his challenger just happened to be Spanner, who does him in with just 2 tricks. And I'm just like, wow, this seems like the easiest exam ever. Y'all didn't really do much. You just threw shit at each other. Like, they did more during like the dark arts studies of Harry Potter in the first film than we ever got with this.
I know.
Like, okay, but this is apparently all it takes for you to graduate. Yeah. So yeah, Spanner ended up winning. Dude got humiliated, so he mad, and he out here just being fabulous, just strutting his stuff all over. I've never seen someone just take such a dramatic walk aggressively outside of musicals. He's just out here doing it. And you just can't catch Spanner at any turn because Spanner's got something for his ass. And he just mad. He mad as hell. Meanwhile, Lactis says that this is the kind of subject that they needed the entire time anyway, because, when the hate is just so strong, that is what breeds the strongest amalgams. Now, we haven't talked about Gold Guy Decade yet. That's later on.
Yeah, that's later. We'll get there.
While Rene just hangs out in a playground, just reminiscing about daddy time that she's missing because, of course, her dad's dead. Well, he's turned to gold. Hey, perfect! Because it's the gold week. It's the gold week. So. But that's when Spanner shows up awkwardly to the playground. It's okay. He admits that he's got the hots for her. Using that new Burning Arrow card and just gives it to her. But that's when Hawk Guy shows on up and says, I found your weakness, so I'm going to go ahead and snatch her up and just take her as a hostage. So, Hotaru is going to be out there, and Spanner obviously is out there. So, most Rider action that we've gotten in a while, but, it's they're not even in suit. And not only that, but they also use the very tinted lenses on their helmets, so you could tell it's not even them that's riding those motorcycles during the scene prior. So it's all right, cool, whatever. While Rene's Pepper decides, hey, look, Gorilla Sensei's over there. I'm going to go to him. Just showing that these Kemi cards just know which ones are their best matches. And with that, Spanner goes ahead and transforms and starts kicking ass. But that's when we get a little bit of, what's this one called? Burning Gorilla?
Burning Gorilla, I think, yeah.
So we get this form for a little bit, just to save Rene. Only for him to go ahead and help out Spanner by Rider kicking him in the feet just to give him an extra boost to get through. And still land the finishing blow by going back into Burning Gorilla. And technically taking the credit in the end, but it's fine. It's whatever. Well, the guy's just like, you ruined everything from me. You took everything from me. And Spanner's like, I don't even know who you are. Like, seriously, I don't even know who you are. And then, it's memory wipe time, because apparently even if you're part of the Alchemist Academy, you're not safe from the memory wipe. You're still going to get wiped, which definitely gave all them vibes. Oh, real quick, we got a super chat. Well, there it is from Straxler for $2 saying, I love gold. I was this close to putting in like Austin Powers and Goldmember, like somewhere in the thumbnail for today's video, but I said, nah. Maybe no one will get the reference. This is a younger generation. They don't know Austin Powers.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like a 20-year-old movie. It came out when the most of them were born.
So that's why I didn't put it on there. So
yeah.
All right. Oh shit, no, that's already next episode. All right. So yeah, the little bit that we get with all this is just that while watching all of these events go down, who's the oldest slash the youngest of the Dark Sisters? I forgot her name.
Clotho, I think.
No,
Clotho?
Clotho. Clotho is
No, Clotho's the Amazon chick.
Yes, I'm talking about the 9-year-old old lady.
Atropos?
Atropos. Yes, Atropos.
Yeah.
Yes, so she says that, witnessing everything that's gone down these last several episodes, she now knows the weaknesses to take them down.
And some other plan they've got's coming together.
Yep. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. But yeah, it just seems like run-of-the-mill Monster of the Week Gotchard this week. The only thing that really stood out for me outside of Atropos' statement at the end was just Spanner forgetting this guy. It could be one of two things. Either he's just so full of himself that he just doesn't bother remembering people that aren't memorable, or once he actually became a super high rank alchemist, they also technically memory wiped him and left him with selective memory. So to leave him to be more efficient at what he does, thus severing those ties. And then here's Mark.
Hey,
yeah,
what's with that blurred background hyper focused on you? What's that? Looks completely different.
New firmware update for freaking Delgado face cam.
Oh, cool.
I didn't download shit. So
I didn't download that either.
It's pretty nice. Very nice. And then I was doing a bunch of stuff and gotta grab food out of the oven soon because, yeah.
Well, great. We just finished recapping this.
We're supposed to wear gold. I didn't get the memo.
It's the gold episode.
But
plus, you're right by your best friend, this great Sonic art. So it's just right there, right by. Mark was there during the VC chat when this all went down. So
I'd rather throw away my refrigerator than put that artwork on it.
Oh well, it's here. It's now. It's hip. It's cool. And Gotchard.
It's on your fridge.
So yeah, this week's Gotchard once again, not much. It's that slow burn that you definitely feel from week to week because it's a week-to-week show, with little bits and nuggets there. But the thing that I found completely odd was just they introduced us a new form yet again. Of course, next week they're going to introduce us to yet another new form yet again. But this time they give us the debut of it, and he instantly swatches back to base. And then goes back to it. It's like very minuscule. It's okay. It's all right. You guys are just blowing through your load when it comes to all these forms, especially since next week we get yet another one. I just appreciate all the Lactus this week because she was fine as hell. So we get all of that nice action. And then of course the great memorable scene of Spanner just sucking on meat. Just aggressively putting meat in his mouth.
Yeah.
So it's right there. So Ash, what did you think about this week's Gotchard?
Yeah, like watching it just like an hour before we started, I thought like another episodic episode, but like we've been saying, it's setting up something that looks like finally now all the gears are in place for whatever main plot we're going to set up. And hopefully we'll see what happens moving forward. But yeah, like I feel like there's some other things like they could have maybe expand on, like, and I feel like they might expand on that we might see in the future, like the alchemy exams and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. Like I'm hoping we see maybe Ichinose go through one of those things like throughout the show. Possibly, maybe that's going to lead into the final arc. We could see that. But yeah, this episode was all right, like a pretty chill episode. Not too bad, not too good, just all right.
Yeah, this episode was so chill that was part of the reason why I said I need a break. Like this show's just this show is just not giving me much, and I'm like I feel like I'm working harder just to try and make the show seem more interesting than it actually is with my reviews. And I was just like, no, I'm trying too hard. I'm trying too hard just to make this show look decent. When it has its good episodes, it has its bad episodes, but most of the time it just hovers on it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But real quick, Musa Muteki for $2 says, let us remember, Wild Ant Wrestler. No, let's not, because it's literally just the upper torso of the suit floating, and then two semi-robotic ants just going. These wild forms ain't shit. They ain't shit.
No, I don't like it. Which is
So,
why
I mean,
I'm not reviewing it anymore, because I'm giving it till episode 10, and I've never given up on a Kamen Rider season before, besides Zio.
Wow.
Yeah, I might put my effort into other things, like my video said. But everyone thinks I quit YouTube. By the way, everyone in chat, why? All I said was I was burnt out on Kamen Rider, and everyone's like, "Oh, cool, come back to your channel when you're ready." I'm like, I'm just not talking about Gotchard. I still have all the cards, which I'll reveal soon. I have every single one now.
I at least said I was gonna go on break this week, and still got comments going like, "It's Friday, so that means the week's over. Yeah. So you're gonna be making them reviews now." So
it's like, how about tomorrow? You gotta get a new one, right?
It's like, nah. You gotta understand the timetables of events. It's like, if I do these reviews now, that just means in 2 more days I'll already be working on more reviews. No, that's too many reviews. You know how efficient I was at my actual day job this week, plus making cosplay this week without doing this? Super efficient.
I was really efficient with my job this week. I got a compliment, and it wasn't, "Hey Mark, we like the way you yelled at them." Like, they actually complimented me. They're like, "Oh, you look well rested." I'm like, I was like, "Thanks. I think I took a shower this morning for once because I wasn't overly tired."
I did most of my month's worth of work in I guess Ash is updating his Elgato.
Yeah,
that's the Elgatos
there
now.
It is. No, I got almost my month's worth of work done this entire week, so I'm just like, ooh, great. I'm literally not waiting until the last minute to get everything done for my deadlines. I'm ahead of the curve now, so I'm good for this time. Plus, my cosplay for Orga is about 85% done. Posted up a picture that I took earlier. The feet are done, so
nice,
good stuff. But yeah, Mark, what did you think about Gotchard? If you watched it at all?
I did. I'm still watching the show. I'm just not reviewing it because, it would be 2-minute reviews, because I just don't want to. There's nothing really to deep dive into it. Nothing to really speculate about. It's just, I love a good slow burn, but I don't like talking about a slow burn, because then I get bored talking about it, and I'm not bored watching the show. It's just, when I'm watching the show, like how you are, you come up with your bits. While I'm watching the show, I'm thinking, okay, this is good. I can't wait to talk about this. I watch the whole episode, and I'm like, okay, what is the good that I'm really want to hyper focus on, and build around? And it's nothing. What's the negative side? Oh, well, these stupid wild forms are ass. And it's I have the rule, I'm not going to make negative content on my channel.
I still would.
I'll talk about negative stuff, but I won't make a video that's the portion of negative to positive is a bad ratio. So it's and there's no criticism I can have other than, well, get rid of the wild forms, they're ass. Give me some more practical effects. In the suit changing constantly. And I'm like, why are we making all these forms? I was like, it's not like you have really individual gimmicks to sell right now. It's card based. Just, let it simmer.
Honestly, and this is a question I posed to y'all as well as the chat. At this point, would you have just preferred more writers versus all these new forms that we're getting that just seem to be thrown off?
100% a hypocrite. More writers, honestly. Showcase the suits, showcase the forms more that way. Especially, you got the Alchemist School. Screw it, make them all freaking writers. And I hate that. That is what would make it work.
Yeah, and that's how I feel as one. The thing is, I was one of those people that didn't want a lot of writers in this season. But the thing is, if you're gonna throw it in with so many forms, that's virtually the same as having a lot of writers. The only problem is they're throwaways. There are a lot of throwaway forms because you can't showcase these all at once unless you pull a Deno situation down the line where Hotaru can split himself into like 72 versions of himself, all rocking a different Gotchard form. But no, but Ash, which would you prefer? Would you prefer more riders or the route that we're currently taking with just a lot of forms?
I don't know. It feels like a breath of like sort of fresh air after focusing on one rider after so long. But seeing how we're just getting all these forms that are barely getting any screen time, then make the other students riders. Like we've got like 2 other characters who are just like comic relief. Maybe like they probably have rider potential. Like Kudo seems like she's got rider potential possibly. Then I don't know. I'm like on the fence. Like it's cool that we're focusing on our main rider, but it'd be cool to have like more riders show up instead of like just the one.
But are we really focusing on Hotaru? Because that's the thing.
No.
It's like we've got a lot of characters already, which out of them, only Hotaru is a rider, and then Spanner's just whatever the fuck Spanner is.
Yeah.
But then because
Creep.
we've got so many characters, we still run into the same dilemma that we would if we had a lot of writers. They don't know who to focus on.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the issue too. It's like if it's going to be a slow burn, make it more like data life in school and then interject some of the chemi stuff and this and that. At least you have the school to be the one consistent and not the alchemist school. Him in school, you know, the thing that is still a thing that he's
which we haven't seen outside of the first episode.
Yeah.
And
I'm
that's
just,
what you were worried
he must be
about going
failing.
into it, Zio. Like that this would be like all school focused, and then we've
And I was
barely
okay
focused
with
on
that.
school.
Look at Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. There was a good balance of card fights to school and this and that. Like I'm okay with that if it's done right. But I was just like, okay, like he's not showing up in class, is he? Because he's in the morning, he's in the alchemist one. It's like, how is he there for attendance? Like there's too many. It's like you shouldn't have introduced a school life character that's in school and not have the school. Forze did it great. I think that was a great setting, having the school be a primary setting for most of the stuff. Do that with this, and it's not too late to fix it if you're gonna do a slow burn, but there's just too much. And like I said, I've been taken out of the shows after we found out our 3 sisters have a master, because it's I'm like, oh well, they're no threat. This is Geef with the freaking dead man's all over again.
Oh, you're saying we're gonna get a virtual slap?
Oh, we better. We're gonna get like a.
All right, real quick, Mr. Impact for $5 says, does anyone on the panel think Reiwa doesn't have its own identity? The biggest problem is that it just still feels like a continuation of Heisei. And to that, I mean, I'll say parental issues. Parental issues are like the forefront of Reiwa in like a lot of aspects that we just see continue on. That's my biggest thing when I think of Reiwa. But outside of that, yeah, Reiwa seems like Heisei on steroids, or at least Heisei 2 on steroids, because Heisei 1 built completely different from Heisei 2. They're completely different beasts. Heisei 2 definitely was focused on the gimmicks, but implementing the gimmicks, at least in the beginning, very smartly into their overall narrative that they had going on. Eventually, they just became like more of a background element to the overarching narrative that they have going on. But yeah, it still seems like they have definitely gone too toy centric. And I know people will argue that Kamen Rider and Toku shows in general have just been glorified toy commercials. But I'm like, no, there was a point in time in which it didn't feel that way. Once again, Heisei 1 didn't feel that way. Yeah. Because they didn't really have gimmicks to really sell us. It was just like, you got the belt, you got the transformation accessories, you got the figures. But there was not like, over 50 something toys that you had to buy for each individual shows regarding things, because there wasn't. But that was the thing. And they definitely, especially with Gotchard stands amongst the most obvious of blatant cash grab I have ever seen, because of its initial reveal well ahead of time. They were already like, hey, look, we got cards. We got all these trading cards. You got to buy them. You got to buy them all.
No.
We got all these cards. We're only putting in 5 per pack. Oh, but, you know, if you want the real deal, if you want a real chance of getting at least one of these parallel cards, you got to buy a whole fucking box. You got to buy a whole box that comes with so many booster packs in there for a guaranteed shot of at least one parallel card. And it's just like, okay, all right, you really just want our money, and that's it. Like, everything else from the show came separate, because all these forms, they were like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna have so many forms. Now we see the end result, and we're already like, yeah, if this is how you give us so many forms, it's ass, because you're literally putting them in for maybe 13 seconds of airtime, and then it's back to base.
I see your cash grab of cards, and I raise you the newly released and announced action figures for Gotchard, because that is atrocious. You get in the box 3 forms, right? But one figure to attach the armor to. It's like what they did with the Zeo stuff for a while there with the Sotos. So if you want all 3 action figures of all 3 forms, you have to buy the set 3 times. Now I know what you're thinking. But then you'd have duplicates of all the other extra form armors. Yeah. And they can't even transform into the wild form. So it's the only way you can get it.
That was exactly what I was going to ask, but you can just make them wild form, right?
No, you can't. It's just armor pieces like they did with the Zeo Sotos, which, by the way, is why I'm going to win the Toku debt, because I had to hunt down so many individual Zeo Soto figures that, and not all the same ones would fit the same armor pieces, and I had to make a spreadsheet. I made a spreadsheet and ended up having to buy over 20 of those goddamn toys. It was bad, just so I can get all the armor pieces. And then I had to find the armor pieces that weren't duplicates from I haven't seen anything like this since actually Geats, because if the Geats Revolve ones, you had to buy certain ones if you wanted certain forms, and then you would only come with one helmet, so you had to pick and choose. Like for Zombie Buffa and Tycoon Ninja, you got both, but you couldn't make both. You could only put one head on it because you only got one full body form. And they did the same thing with the Twin Command. You could only pick jet or cannon form, and you had to pick between Geats or Tycoon. And you had to go buy another set if you wanted to make, but you had to buy 4 sets total to get each of their forms: Twin, jet, cannon. And I'm like, this recent 3-year gap, because they didn't do this with Saber at all. The cash grab of the action figures, and they're $30-$40. And they're cheap as fuck.
But the thing is, it's like with Saber, I'm surprised that they didn't, because given like all the combinations that you could end up making with the Wonder Ride books and all that, it would have worked.
I think it was the Wonder Ride books was their selling point. That's what they're really going in on, is just selling the book. I mean, they were getting $15-$20 a pop per book. There's a lot of books.
Plus, yeah, it was also 2020, so the logistics of trying to make all that, yeah. So that's the only reason why.
And Saber was the start of Premium Bandai drivers and Premium Bandai gimmicks. Saber started it. So
no, we had Premium Bandai drivers before.
Not as bad. I mean, we had like
a lot of the stuff from 01, like the ARC one driver and all that stuff ended up being P-Bandai, because I couldn't get that until way later on.
I forgot, because I got those on Buy dirt cheap.
For Zeo, the Oma Zeo driver, that was P-Bandai.
See, I don't remember when those came out, because I bought everything like during the pandemic on Buy when it was like $30-$40, and now that I pay attention more to toy releases, I'm like, oh man, there's a lot that's like.
But now with Premium DX, you know.
Oh my god. It's premium bullshit.
This whole trend, it's just cash grab. That's the thing. It's I really do feel that Reiwa is just Heisei 2 on steroids, cash grab vibes. That's all it is. They care more about the cash grab than they do about the show itself. Essentially, they don't care if the show falls apart later on down the line. And oh my god, what the hell is Lookman doing right now?
20,000 I don't remembers.
Okay, hear me out. Text to speech with AI Zeo. I mean, if you want to sell it, go for it. Am I going to sign the rights to my voice? Maybe. Maybe. Depends on how much. Not for that fake currency though.
I could hear your audio finally. Oh, that's loud. I forgot that Windows updates, by the way, that I couldn't freaking stop, and freaking the AI noise thing activated itself again. So with like AI noise reduction, you're playing background music, you can't hear it anymore.
But yeah, Ash, what's your thoughts on how Reiwa just feels? Well, according to the comment, like
I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough Heisei Phase 2 to comment on this. To be honest, I've only seen mostly the Reiwa stuff. Like, there's only like maybe 2 Heisei Phase 2 shows I've watched from start to finish. That being X8 and Gaim. So they're the only ones I've seen. So like I don't have the stand on these thoughts, to be honest.
And even then, like thinking about it, the Gashats from XA didn't seem like too overzealous in terms of you got to have so many of these type things in terms of collectibles. The Lock Seeds, the same story. Now, once we got to the CSMs, that's a whole different ball game because they were like, "Hey, you want all these Lock Seeds? $320." And I'm like, pass. But at least it's not as
the
crazy
gimmicks,
as these fucking cards.
The gimmicks for like Gaim and X8, the series I have seen, those gimmicks were more like story driven than waving like a new toy in your face every week, like what we did with Gates, where like you'd have like the belt buckle, like the jet one, and then it'd be up for pre-order like within like a couple of days.
No, and that's exactly what it is. It's with Heisei 2, they found a way to weave the gimmicks into the narrative. While nowadays it seems to be the opposite. They're weaving the narrative around the gimmicks in some way, shape, or form. So it didn't start off that way because I didn't feel that 0-1 with the progress keys hit that same vibe. But it definitely seems a little bit more recent, and they're just doubling up, tripling up. And we'll see with what comes after Gotchard if they try to course correct. But they're probably raking in so much money right now from Gotchard, from people buying literally cards that take like 5 cents to produce. But they're paying so much money for them, myself included, Mark included, so many of y'all in the chat included, that they're just making so much margin profit off of this stuff that they're just laughing all the way to the bank. They're like, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we're making money. And that's it.
Right.
That's the big joke when it comes to all of these companies. Like I did in that one Gotchard opening bit. It's about the money. And that's what they care about. All right. So anything else related to Gotchard for this episode? Not talking about Legend, just Gotchard. Until we move on for King-Ohger this upcoming week.
Like I said, all right episode. I'm curious to see where it goes with the sisters' plan moving forward.
All right. So King-Ohger this week, they got flung to the far, far distant planet that is Earth, where seems like people are just in a little bit of a tizzy this week. But they got to go ahead and try and fight them because they got some grunts that they have no idea who the fuck they are. Meanwhile, some guy they've never seen before who's, apparently a Senta. I don't know. I never see this guy transform, so I don't know what you're talking about. He just shows up over here, throws down some hands. It's name's apparently Soji. I don't, whatever. Doesn't matter because, these guys are about to show them up because they're Sentai. So they're about to transform, except, only Gira transforms. Well, that's awkward. But it's kind of like they're just telling us everything that we've predicted has been right up until this point. It's just like, yeah, I remember you guys speculating about Gira eating Kuogan's soul or something like that. Yeah, this episode kind of cements that. Like if if you didn't believe it before, then you definitely believe it now. As they go ahead and take on the enemies, but that's when this guy shows up and just goes Chesto on the giant grunt. And this guy is Prince, and he's going to be king someday. But he broke his sword. Now, okay, we see the end result of the sword later on in the episode. But I personally prefer the look of this sword's style more so than what we end up getting later on, where it's just red. At least this one has multiple tones to it. The other one's just red on red on red. At least this one fits in with the Gabari revolver. So
yeah,
it's but it's okay. It'll get repainted later on. Well, on the other side of things, Dubowski goes ahead and tries out the local cuisine of grapes, and they some thick ass grapes. Them things were crunchy too. I was like, boy, some crunchy ass grapes, some great stuff right there. But that's when Devos attacks, and it's this new Devos enemy who's a combination of all the previous generals of the Devos army. And he tries to transform, and the roosters are crowing tonight because he can't transform. But you know who can? It's Nobu out here. Kyoto Blue has shown on up to try and at least deflect some blasts and until they can get away. Meanwhile, Himeno it's hot because she gets used to the temperature. It's hot in here. So they find their way to a cave. But isn't just me, like, why is Rita looking so like, oh my god, it's a cave?
I don't know, she zoom into the right more.
There you go. That's a loud crunch. That's a loud ass crunch. But yes, they spot themselves a cave and they make their way in. I know Mark would like to make his way inside the cave. See, this is what we needed last week with Jeremy's mom, but you missed out on it.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke like, speaking of pickles, I'm like,
Well, they found themselves in a pickle as they see a weird mural that's terribly CG'd onto this wall, as these are just floating PNG images on a wall. But it's okay. It's okay. They didn't have to stay up there long. Just long enough to get hyper focused on these details. And I'm just like, okay, all right. This is some good stuff. Definitely very big, seedy lore into what they got going on. So the Kyoryuger mural, that's very reminiscent of the legendary one from, I'm just thinking about it right now. Something doesn't make sense, though. Something doesn't make sense. Because the one that was done 2,000 years ago in the Earth of the King-Ohgers was technically done by Jeremy. Because it was his legend that put to hieroglyphs. But then this is on regular. Who did this one? Who did this one? No. Now, see, now that I'm thinking about it, because, of course, I didn't do a review last week, so I didn't have time to cook and sit on some of this shit. But I'm just like, wait. This doesn't make no goddamn sense. This doesn't make a lick of sense from that aspect. But okay, all right. I'm going to try and brush. I'm getting too heated now. Just thinking about it. No. It's weird. It's weird. Just out here, just thinking about it. Doesn't make any sense. Well, someone else just did it, but this was like 2,000 years ago as well. I don't think Torin was around like 2,000. I thought he was like gone for longer than 2,000 years. I don't know, retconning shit, but whatever. We gotta flirt with Himeno real fast. Man's just out here like making the moves right away. I'm just like, I see you, my guy. You out there doing what the rest of us would have done. Yeah.
He sees the vision.
He knew who to go after. Like, clearly, Team Himeno right here. Clearly. While explaining everything else that's going on and where they're at, he drops the classic, "Oh my," in which Jeremy also, "Oh my." Inserts
That guy.
George Sakai, "Oh my," in here. Perfect. Would have been a perfect bit had I done the review, but I did not. So, yeah, don't know what they're looking at. They just know that they've been excavating all that good stuff. Wow. On the other side of things, humans are just seeking shelter away from Devos, and they're trying to figure out exactly how everything came to be. So we get a little flashback montage of Kyoryuger way back in the day, everything that ended up happening up until there. How suddenly 2 years ago, Dagden shows up, brings in this new Demos guy, and he goes ahead and starts stealing the bravery from random bystanders in the world. And to the point that it's up to, Kyoryu Red, Kyoryu Gold, and they're like, you know what? No, we're going to chase this man into the far reaches of space, and we're dipping out. See ya. We'll be lucky if we bring back the milk. Instead, they just drop off their kid. Because they leave, they're gone, and then they're just like, by the way, this is a kid we found. Y'all go ahead and watch this man. We think he might be special, but not special enough to hang out with us. So here you go. And he's got the sword. While hearing about everything regarding him, especially since Prince apparently comes from an alternate timeline future, something weird, timey-wimey, space distortion, time dilation, things like that. We don't know what the fuck, where he's from. All we know is that he's not from the current status of Earth, but some other version of Earth and things like that. So, hearing all that, Yama gets excited because he's just like, timelines, space travel, different planets. This is a man's dream. So, of course, I'm going to go ahead and pitch in. This guy's got a busted-ass sword. I'm going to fix that using this world's resources. So, in the meantime, we get a little view of the Devos army that seems to be inside a giant gaping anus. I mean, inside a blood vessel, but it looks like a, giant gaping anus.
That's a butthole.
Yeah, definitely is. And we get a villain that's just, based off of a Kabuto Beetle, because of course they would. It makes sense for this crossover. Well, it turns out that, Prince just doesn't have his own guardian with him. He doesn't have his own dino buddy like everybody else does. So, he's got nothing in his battery. Nothing in his battery. He's got no juice in the tank. Nothing like that. And everybody else lost their bravery too. So, they don't even know where their dino buddies are. The dino buddies are gone. Meanwhile, Yama's just like, here, I fixed it and made it red so it goes 3 times faster. So that's clearly how you end up fixing things, is just add the tip on it, paint it red, goes 3 times faster. I still prefer the look of it before all this, even though I'm a red guy. But this paint job looks sloppy. It looks very sloppy, and it kind of instantly sold me out of the toy. Like, I saw this, and I was like, ooh, no, that is some caked on paint on there.
You can see it around the edges where, like, in the indents and the crevices where it's still kind of glossy, where it's like, that's still wet? No, you just used some globs in there. You didn't go over with a sponge brush. You should have.
No, or even the white on it, yeah.
They literally said, just throw some shit together.
Mm.
Even with, like, the unevenness of, I guess they were trying to add somewhat weathering effects, but this just looks like shit.
Yeah.
This Sonic looks better than that. Actually, this Sonic looks like it's in theme with this sword. This is Sonic's blade now. This is the blade.
You can see the sticker eye coming off.
Oh yeah, the stickers are coming off. This is the blade that Sonic wields. It's there. Great, so now it's time to train Prince. And who better to train him than the Tyrant King Gira? And they duke it out, and he transforms and beats his ass. But he's just like, nah, look, this is my redemption arc. I know I'm a character that just got introduced into this crossover without anybody having any knowledge of who I am. But I'm here. And what's the story about Sonic? Watch the stream earlier. So he gets enough pep in his step to actually do Gira. And everybody, including Himeno, I see Mark's out here just missing out on peak. Should I just leave Himeno up until Mark shows up? Let's just,
sure. It might summon him.
So I'll just be here drinking. Can I drink this whole Red's Wicked Apple before Mark shows on up? Let's find on out. I guess I can't. Well, and that was like full.
Do you think you can drink another one until Mark shows up?
Oh my god! This is
no, I don't want to encourage you to drink.
I'm like this.
I don't want to encourage you too much. We got
that's how the college parties went. It's just like, don't be no bitch. Drink some more, which is true. That's what I do anytime I have people over for drinks, and they just take a little sip, and I'm just like, don't be no bitch. What the hell are you doing? No, there's still something in there. I'd be like shaking it right in front of them, like, I hear alcohol, and I'm that guy. I'm the guy that literally gaslights everybody into drinking more when I have house parties. So it's just how things go. It's just how things go. Well, Mark missed out on some nice Himeno action here, so we're moving on.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark.
Because Gira's about to Kuligan's leaving out of his soul. Oh, it's all there. It just go straight to the battery. So Kuligan chose to help out Prince, barely knowing this man. But it's enough. It's enough. So as the new Debos monster attacks, it's time for them to transform. Oh, damn, Mark, you completely missed out. He can't hear shit. There he is. You completely missed out.
Sorry, I was making some meat to put in my mouth.
See, we had a nice Himeno shot earlier. You weren't here for it, so I was like, can I drink this whole tall boy of Red's Apple Ale and Wicked Apple and see if Mark will show up in time? Chugged it. Didn't show up.
Dude, so. Why would you chug that whole thing?
Just to see if you would outrun the clock, which you did not.
I didn't. Sorry, I had to make sure the meat was good.
Well, speaking of good meat, well, Tara, this suit's nah.
I don't like it.
You know what I do like? The jingle, though. The jingle kind of got me. You are the king. You are the king. You are the king. It was good. I was like, loving it. So, yeah, the two of them transform and they start beating ass. And they beat that ass. Great. But now the other guy went giant. So, meanwhile, I didn't expect this shit to just like completely fizz in my mouth.
You just opened it.
I just opened it and that shit just fizzed all over me. Oh my god.
Fizzed rhymes with jizz.
I'm like, man, this woman has not aged in 10 years. She's still looking good. And the thing is, I thought she retired from acting.
I think she did, but came back for this one.
Which I'm just like, good for her. Good for her.
Yeah. A lot of the Dino actors do that. I think Arbor Yellow did as well. Like, they retired and came back for the 20th special.
Look, I was trying to say Ami, but of course this thing just, when I busted it, it came in my mouth. So I'm just saying. So it kind of like muffled what I was about. I was not expecting.
What was that? Someone clip that.
So that's why people tune in for off the cuff shit that happens during these live streams. That's how it goes. That's how we go for as long as we do. You gotta have that stamina point. While she discovers the buddies, they've all just been chained up. It came in my mouth, Zio 2023. Yep. Words to
put that on a shirt.
Yep. Followed by
The sound effect with the eye contact is what made it authentic.
The gargling. So perfect. Look, I don't deny what I said. I embrace it. So while Ami's discovering all of the Dino Pals, Jeremy's like, wait, this drawing and all that stuff. Wait, what's the name of this planet? Earth. It's weird. Because our planet is also called that, but it's not the same planet. But there's a ship. Looks very that means my dad and his people came to our Earth from your Earth. They literally came from Japan and went through a wormhole and got to Africa. And this is where I still hate the fucking graphic artist for this fucking show. Because this is legit the play-by-play of it. They left Japan and they went to Africa. It's like, what? You guys made a whole fucking world map. You guys made a world map. They literally took a wormhole. They couldn't take the plane to Africa. Nah. They took a wormhole just to go. At least they could have flipped Africa like they did that one episode. They didn't even flip Africa this week. They were like, nah.
Hear me out. Have you ever flown from Japan to Africa? Because this might be the only way you could get there.
Wormhole?
Yes. I'm just saying, I don't do international flights anymore, so I wouldn't know.
But I'm like, yeah, they literally just spun the world map over some, and they were like, good, this is a whole different planet. Bro, that's Africa and Europe. It's a whole different planet. Okay. All right.
No, it's Acrifa. It's Africa backwards.
They didn't even make Africa backwards this time. That's the thing.
See, it's mirrored, but we're also looking at the mirror, so it looks normal.
Look, I just, whoever is the graphic designer for all the space shit, I'm sorry, get another job. But not this.
They ran out of budget with the green screen.
Once again, they made a whole fucking planet. They showed us the world map of said planet before.
Budget was over. They lost the files. It went to him.
Ever since Stagdead showed up, this world has had worse continuity than the current state of MCU and Star Wars combined.
I don't know about that.
Muso Muteki. Does that mean Dagdad used a wormhole to get to Africa? No wonder he was gone for the first during season 1 of King-Ohger. Well, yeah. I mean, it's true, because if he was there during Kyoryuger, their version of Earth, 2 years ago, then he was just making a pit stop. But apparently it wasn't enough. He literally just left random guy in charge, and then was just like, all right, now I'm gonna shoot on over to another planet of mine. Which makes me wonder, like, once again, continuity, it's weird. He's focusing so much on the Earth of the King-Ohgers, but then, like, shoots them over to regular Earth, saying that's the worst place ever. So I'm gonna throw y'all in over here. But he doesn't do shit about it. He literally was just like, I'm going to leave one grunt here and just say bye. So if that's the worst place ever, then why did he leave it alone? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. If he was going to say, I'm going to leave you in the worst, most chaotic Earth ever, he would leave him in the Down Brothers Earth. Because, of course, you can't beat that. You can't beat Down Brothers Earth. Like, Tara would just show up and just stroke it so many times. The Dagdad's going to be like, oh, shit, we got a badass over here, and just dip out. That's why they couldn't do it. That's why they couldn't do it. Oh, no, that's leaning into other shit. Because that's all the gold shit later on. So, yeah, that was King-Ohger for this week, which I enjoyed. It was decent. It was not great. It was not amazing. It was good. But I feel that this episode needs to get paired up with how the next episode will end up going to see how the final payoff will be. Prince, new character introduced for the sake of this crossover. Not that big of a fan. For the build that he's got, I didn't expect such a high voice because he definitely sounds like a child in like a man's body. It's like if you watched JoJo Part 1 and you saw Jonathan Joestar being voiced by an 8-year-old, that's Prince. That's Prince. And I'm like, no, it don't work. It don't work.
I mean, if you've seen Dino Charge Red and like the soft voice that comes out of Redden, then you'd be surprised as well.
Really? He sounds like that too?
Not like, I wouldn't say yes completely, but yeah, a little bit, I would say.
Oh.
Could be wrong.
I did find it interesting how, of course, he already came in with his own weapon, but then it got spiced up based off of Yanma's meddling with it, which is how it got that King-Ohger flair to it. Makes me wonder how his original form would have looked like had Yanma not messed with it. But once again, we'll never get to see that because he put some red on it and put some really bad stickers on it. So that was that. So, but I did like the callbacks to it, and the greatest piece of this entire tidbit of lore is that for the first time in a long time, we got a Sentai that within the universe of that show itself is tied into another Sentai show. We haven't gotten that in a long ass time. And they literally just said, yes, like my father and his people came from your Earth to the Earth that I'm from. And all those people that were thinking humans were the invaders and the planet of that Earth, you guys can mark that one down on your bingo cards because y'all were right when it comes to that one because they confirmed it. They confirmed it there. But yeah, just confirming that the worlds are indeed connected and will be brushed aside later on once we get to future crossovers in which like these are all rangers that come from their own dimensions and blah 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 blah. I mean, they technically aren't wrong about it being a different world, but it's still within the same universe as the Garudgers now because that's all there. But we'll see. This might open up a can of worms that might imply that the original Shugadam King plus Jeremy's dad might be working for Dagdad and the Bugnarok are Terra's native that got caught. Well, the thing is, that's kind of the thing that was theorized way early on by a lot of folks is that the Bugnarok were the native inhabitants of it. But the thing is, we don't know the full details because one of the other things when it comes to King-Ohger was that the Bugnarok were apparently human, but those that chose to eat the Shoe God souls were the ones that ended up becoming Bugnaroks after the long-term effects of having it, and then ended up becoming into their own species. That was something that was said within the context of King-Ohger itself. So it could just be that maybe there wasn't really the Bugnarok there. Maybe the shoe gods were just there. Maybe it was just inhabited by the shoe gods, but as the humans showed up, some chose to consume them, some chose to befriend them. So that's the other aspect of things, because that was, once again, something that was already established within the show itself. But that's a good question. So, what'd you think about this episode, Mark?
Didn't watch it because I knew it was a two-parter, so I was waiting for the other one.
Okay, great. Ash.
I thought it was all right. I'll see how part 2 goes, but I feel like it was nice to see like the characters and the cast and crew, and I said this in my review, in an actual set for once instead of a terrible green screen. I say terrible. It's been terrible in some shots that you pointed out in your review. Like, it was cool to see them in actual like environments, out and about. That was cool to see. So they were a lot more open to do those stunts and stuff like that. Like that fight scene where like everyone else was like untransformed and they were doing some really cool stuff. Like him, like bending back and stuff like that, like doing that dodge. That was really cool to see. But yeah, I feel like I have never seen Karuja, but I feel like it was an alright crossover. Like, and I might actually end up watching it soon. But I thought it was an alright episode, and I do like the ending bit where it's having that lore from another series tie into this show, because I thought this would be just like another glorified crossover, but they have some lore connected at the end. I'm wondering whether they're going to follow up with that and where it's going to lead into, leading up to like the end game of the show.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is the fact that they properly tied the two shows together within a proper continuity, which did give me Power Rangers crossover vibes. And I was like, wow, that is something we definitely like did not have in Sentai before in terms of that aspect, which was surprising because, yeah, like you, I thought this was just going to be another one of those crossovers, but they found a way to attribute this crossover into the bigger narrative of King-Ohger. You can't not watch King-Ohger without watching these episodes. It's not like every time that there's like, say, like a recap episode, or there might be like a one-off crossover episode, some people will be like, yeah, that's not an episode that you can watch. It's literally just filler episode, whatever. This is not a filler episode. This is literally like, you gotta watch it.
It wasn't like the Gaim crossovers where it's like, hey, there's some cool shit going on. Let's talk about the Kakaida movie coming out or the soccer movie. Like this like ties into like the main plot, which is good to see.
So yeah, I enjoyed the episode. Had some things going on with Prince, but once again, it's hard to judge this episode on its own, because I do feel that it needs to have that next episode to properly work, because we haven't gotten a two-parter in King-Ohger yet. Everything has either been part of an arc storyline, but still was episodic, but they still gave us like a good bit of narrative to tie everything together. Something that Gotchard's not doing, but hey, Gotchard's going in its way.
It's going.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark, as the one who was just the optimist of Gotchard like a few weeks back, you were like, look, I'm not going to judge it like this. I'm just going to...
I'm still like I said, it's just the negative thing that I should say about the show outweigh the positive. And there's nothing like that gets me hyped really when I watch the episodes. There hasn't been anything that's like, oh my God, that's great. Yeah, clip that. It's just like, oh, that's pretty cool. Or, oh, that's interesting. Let me see where this goes. I'm just coasting and waiting for something. I'm waiting for a threat to show up. I'm waiting for a real, like, some stakes to be at play.
Chess, yeah, I would give this one a B if I did a proper review for it, but I'm going to double up with it, and my thoughts might change once I actually have both episodes on hand to pick them up. So, all right. So, on to the gold of it all. With all of this, Because just like Gotchard had his reveal, and you know what? Sonic's copyright prevention right here. Just gonna be right here to hold the copyright down. As you know, we got this reveal similar to how, and then all of a sudden it's just like, nah, move out the way. Boom, bitch, get out the way. And there you go. It's Decade. Or is it Beast?
That's what I'm saying. No one pointed out that it looks like the Beast driver.
No, that's the thing. For the longest time, I'm just like, everything I'm seeing here looks like a combination of Beast from Wizard and Decade. And I'm like, are they dumb enough to really do Beast and Decade? No, there's no way. There's no, and then we get the suit, and I'm just like, it's literally Beast and Decade.
Yeah. People are like, oh, the driver looks like it does it. I'm like, dude, that's just the Beast driver. 100%. Yep. That's like I like that driver, by the way, from Wizard. I like Wizard. Wizard's S tier, but like this is a thing.
So yeah, we got Kamen Rider Legend with this all these light ups. Though it doesn't seem as glossy as Gotchard. I don't think they used as much premium gloss metallic finish because he's not sparkling as much.
They gave him the quality Decade deserves.
They gave him the matte gold finish.
And it's going to be on YouTube.
Yep. So it's going to be there. And if they don't have automatic translates, then YouTube has auto Google
captions,
translates,
which are very delayed and will miss some parts of it. But I mean, it's cool. It's on YouTube. I mean,
yeah. So we got Kamen Rider Legend finally. This has been long rumored since before the show even started. We had already had rumors of Kamen Rider Legend, the name and everything being there. So what are your first thoughts on seeing the suits in its full gold and black with some tasseling and things like that? Glory. I think it's okay because it's literally a half and half rider. But once again, that's exactly the vibes of everything this theory, everything that they were leaking out gave me. It was, this is Decade and Beast. Why Beast? I don't know why Beast. But unless they got Naoto's actors returning back to be this, because we don't even know who this is yet. And he just managed to catch Tsukasa's cards as he died in the crossovers with his fight with ZO. And he's just like, oh, pour some mayonnaise on it and then put it on and then makes it work. Makes it work. Yeah, the power of mayonnaise. The mayonnaise. The power of mayonnaise. Just, and then in the driver. There it is. So, Mark, what's your thoughts on these suit?
It's mid. I haven't been this disappointed in a suit since, like, I don't know, Gaim. And before I say which one, all of them. No, I just don't like it. I don't know. Something about the gold. I mean, obviously, I'm a fan of gold. Blade King form. You know, our new Garen form that from Outsiders, even though it's not canon. It's not like. I feel like this is just going to lead to a cash grab for something Bandai's cooking in Toei.
I mean, that's why he's gold. So, you know.
That's going to be premium Bandai for the belt. It's going to be premium Bandai SH figure art. Like, if it's going to be on YouTube, then it's like, okay, so this is just like a one-off type thing. It's like, why is my question, because like this suit just looks so kit bashed, and yet just you're calling it Kamen Rider Legend, and there's nothing legendary about this.
It's just Decade.
Yeah,
with
no,
these accents.
I mean, it's better than the original Decade paint color scheme, but it's just, I don't know, Sutton's, I can't pinpoint it, but there's something about this that I just isn't sitting right, that doesn't like, I don't get.
Is it literally just a half and half component of it?
I think so, and also like I feel like there's something wrong with his dick.
He's got no dick. He's just balls. That's
Like,
that's the thing.
I don't know, like it's weird because it looks like it's different material types around like the quad and thigh area, where like it doesn't like, it's like two different undersuit materials.
Look,
and
he's got the family jewels and only the jewels, and that's it.
And even then, like
he's got no Frank, just the beans.
Yeah, it's just like, man, that's like, how are you gonna get meatless chili? Like, no one does that. It's like, you go to Sonic, I want a foot-long coney, but just the bun. It's like, no, you don't. You don't. Like, this just, I don't. And then like it's like different type, like the gauntlets on, like the gloves and like the forearm stuff. That looks cool on it, right? I kind of like the driver because I like the Beast driver. But then we got little tassels on like one shoulder. It's like, I don't know. It's not asymmetrical enough for me. And
I mean, that's the entire thing. It literally just looks like a kit bash between like the two of them in some way, shape, or form. Like, and then the thing is, it's like his card is a line, which once again, Beast. It's there.
I mean, hey, if it's Beast, like I'm fine. It's like, okay, cool. At least we chose the better character, and it's not Decade. Like,
so I mean, looking at the card here, it's a lion.
The card looks cool. I like the card more than the suit.
And he's the first EX card that we end up seeing in the batch. But yeah,
does the card have the thing on the bottom for like what? No. Okay. I was wondering if they're gonna have like the what batch it came from. Be like, oh look, that's coming out this time.
So yeah, this screams so much of Beast and Decade, but we don't know like anything else outside of just that portion of it. We do get this this nice poster featuring the proper carriers of this year, Damburis, with an amazing poster here. Peak Brothers. You know, Sentai's been Peak for 2 years.
Sentai's been definitely killing. I mean, there are elements of Zenkaiser I like that. I'll say 3 years.
I won't.
I know you won't.
We got this.
If it's Beast, it makes sense too. Like Wizard, the Alchemy, they got the rings for the Alchemist. Like, it would make more sense for it to be Beast than Decade. Why they picked Decade suit, I don't know. Probably because of just cards. Like, oh well, we gotta have something for the cards. I use Decade suit, but it'll be Beast, and it's like, okay, that'll make a lot of Decade fans mad. So I'm happy about that.
No, they'll still buy into it, especially if they do get Masahiro Inoue to show up in some way, shape, or form for this. I mean, this man lives in Toku now. It doesn't matter if he's a CEO of a company that doesn't produce jack shit. He's apparently got time to still do Toku. So, because we see more of the Legend Rider cards here, several of which we haven't seen before. Like, you know, well, we've been seeing those. But hey, look, we got Kaizophone up in there. We get Forze up in there. We got Meteor. Build.
I believe some of the high res images already leaked too for all the
Gates. Yeah, I did see those. Get your boy Gaim up in here. And then, of course, biggest thing is the fact that he's holding the Decade card like right there, front and center. Like, you already know.
Little misdirection, maybe even. Nah, it's always not that.
And then the end right there next to him. So the O double. Honestly, this poster gets me more excited for Gotchard than Gotchard itself.
It is a nice poster.
It's a very nice poster.
It doesn't make me like the suit anymore, but that I already don't. But it's like it's still a good poster.
So what's the hype levels when it comes to this? This is an event that's going to be going on in 4 weeks.
I'll let you know in 3 weeks, when depending on how more invested I get in Gotchard. As of right now, it's a 3 out of 10.
Maybe they knew that we were going to be so unhyped for Gotchard, so they were like, here we go, veteran actor. And by actor, we mean suit actor. Seiji Takaiwa comes back to suit this suit, fresh off the heels of Sleeping Lion 2.
Now, they should have had Kamen Rider King, and it should have been Blade instead.
It's not next year.
I know it's not. Oh, is it yet? That'd be great. I wish it was, honestly.
Next year will be your year.
Y'all gonna be so insufferable. I'm repeating myself constantly every week, but honestly, I'm gonna be insufferable. I just want you guys to
as
really
opposed to Gotchard reviews, why don't you just do like Blade re-reviews of every episode as Gotchard is airing?
I cannot confirm or deny what series I'm starting a weekly show. I actually was planning to start that in January. That is the plan.
Someone says the voice of the Deca driver is going to voice the Legend driver. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I hope we get all this Decade stuff and it's still Beast. It's not Decade. I hope. That'll be great.
You know, I said long before when these like rumors started, if Decade returns and Masahiro Inoue does return to Gotchard, I'm dropping the show instantly. Like, I'm just gonna
does it count as him? But it's on YouTube. Does this count as him returning to the show, though? So it'd be a special.
They'll probably find some way to shoehorn him into the show. I'm just like, it hasn't even been 10 years. It hasn't been 10 years. Why are you bringing him back at 5? Blah, blah, something for $5 says, I find it funny that the poster says the same day that that Decade poster says, just repeating Heisei with Reiwa with 10 years. Oh, and 10 years with 100 years. So the thing is, the original Decade poster pretty much said the exact same things. The only difference now is just that Heisei gets replaced with Reiwa, and 10 years gets replaced with 100 years. That's the thing. That's the joke. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at any of this. I am like, you guys are just monetizing so much. This is how we use these Legend cards. It's this guy. Ooh. But how are they going to explain this? Is this Die Shocker or is it not? Are you even going to try and open up the can of worms that is Die Shocker and all the other shit that attributes to Die Shocker? Please don't. Don't do it. We have 69 viewers. Ayo. But otherwise, yeah, it's Kamen Rider Legend. Hooray. Ash, how are you really feeling about this?
I like the black and gold because black and gold is a really sleek color when it's done well. I don't.
Yes, when Jason rocked it in Zio, it was the greatest ever.
Yeah. Sorry. Like I don't know. I've got no attachment to the Decade because I haven't seen it. I just know what the suit looks like. So seeing here get a paint job, I guess it looks all right. The eyes look weird. They're too far apart or too close. I can't tell because of the angle. I don't know. That I guess just 'cause I think one of them looks uneven.
It's the same shape as the Decade Eyes. They're just now over a lot of the different fixtures on there, and then with the little side pieces
Yeah,
they got
yeah.
going on over here, that's what throws things off.
Yeah, I guess that's what's throwing me off. I don't know. Like we've sort of seen it in action with the video, but we'll see. Like the suit, like I'm kind of digging, but we'll see what this character is because this has been like the biggest talk ever since like before the show even aired. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, excitement. Is there excitement? I'm not feeling the excitement. I think the tone of Gotchard in general has just led to so much when it comes to certain things.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Gotchard, there has been a couple of leaks, rumors regarding the next set of toys that we'll be getting for Gotchard. So the new transformation device is a heroine's driver, not heroin like the drug, but
is it going to be called Kamen Rider Nikki 6? Sorry for those who don't read books. The heroin diaries was a thing.
But apparently, the heroine's driver is activated by a ring.
A spoon and a lighter.
Nah.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's gotta be the funniest shit you've said the entire.
Go on.
That was so good.
No, but activated by ring, kind of similar to the wizard driver. Very similar to the wizard driver. And of course, since we saw those fancy rings that the alchemists all use, then yeah, it could be that. Then there's apparently a mass production driver that's also coming out that's going to be used by the Alchemy Academy students.
Oh god, it's that
stupid with the transformation of one singular card.
What was the one? The weekend driver. It's basically the weekend driver. Son of a bitch.
Then the third thing is there's going to be an enemy boss driver that transforms using 3 cards. And apparently that one uses a spectacular LED system. Custom types also available. So I'm thinking like, are they thinking like vision driver type spectacular LED system, something like that? But also, if the enemy boss driver, I'm thinking it might be like Galeon or anything like that. If they use 3 cards, then what makes the Gotchard driver so powerful? Because that was the entire thing. It's like this is the first driver that uses 2 chemis at once. Then the enemy like shows up and it's like, I got 3.
And you have to be
why the fuck do you need this one?
And you have to be chosen for it too.
Yeah. So already with some of the rumors that we got here, I'm like, this is breaking up everything that the show's already like established. Yeah. Like the only thing that I can think of is like for these mass production drivers that maybe they try studying, like Green Game might go like, hey, can we just see your driver for like a day or two? And then like Sabimaru is going to be like, look, we made mass production drivers. Why do you guys keep doing this in the background? Well, we did it. Here you go, guys. We did it. We made our own mass production.
How do you put 3 cards in?
I'm thinking that might be what those EX cards.
I would say how in the driver. How would you put all 3? Like you put 1 in the middle, 2 on 1 on each side, because then the other 2 got mushed in the other one.
And I mean, it's 3 X's. It's triple X Rider. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. It's the only one that I can see working out between the combinations of the cards that we currently have. Is those EX cards. But according to this, no. The transformation of the 3 cards starts with the first one being strengthening steam hopper. I know, exactly. I don't know what to read with that. But it's strengthening Steam Hopper plus question mark, question mark, question mark. So, if the first driver is the heroine's driver, then I do think that's probably going to be Renee. Like, you can't not have Renee not becoming a writer at this point in time. And then mass production driver, I can see that being for Salimaru and Ringe.
Yeah.
And then whoever gets this boss driver, this enemy boss driver, it could be Gideon, it could be Minato. I'm still on the camp of Minato's potentially, a bad guy that's just playing up to the corporate entities, that type of thing. So what do you guys make of these rumors?
Okay, so the ring I think might be Kudo. If the alchemy school is getting their own driver, maybe we'll see the sidekicks transform. But then again, we've also got to see probably Minato transform. Like, no doubt about it. That could be him. But yeah, these sound interesting. But I do wonder how they're going to factor into the show.
And Mark, what do you think about this blatant cash grab?
Oh, I don't care about the mass production one because I didn't care for the weekend driver. I don't care. If this 3-card one...
Technically, the mass production driver was the Demon's driver, and you have that in your possession.
Yeah, but it doesn't count because it was also the Demon's driver.
But it still counts as mass production. No, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. All those stupid Demon's troopers had that fucking driver.
Listen, that aside, I'm retconning that completely. They had me at LED lights. I was like, ooh, that's usually how they get me. Obviously, I'm ready for the premium Bandai link to drop. That seems like a lot for, like, if that league is all within 1/4 of the show. That's a lot, which makes me feel like this pacing is going to continue for a bit, and then it's just going to be boom, boom, boom every episode. And I feel like if not handled correctly, it's not going to work. I'm just getting the cards. I'm not getting any other drivers unless it's really cool looking. I've already got my brick. I've got my Sega Game Gear.
Look, like I told people, if someone breaks into my house, I'm not reaching for the gun. I'm not reaching for the swords. I'm reaching for the gotcha driver. I'm just going to throw that shit at whoever invades my house.
It's like that video from 7-Eleven where the guy took like the big Arizona iced tea and like smacked the guy in the face with it and exploded and knocked the guy out. It's like that. You could just you could take someone out with it. But yeah, it's just okay. Mr. Impact asks us, when was the weekend driver mass produced? I mean, from the standpoint of, listen, that was a shitty driver. It was unnecessary. It wasn't needed. And I assumed they were just going to hand that out to like everyone in the weekend. And they kind of just changed their mind. They're like, no, this isn't going to sell.
This isn't selling. So Demons.
Yeah. Because I feel like when you look at some of the episodes of Revice, it was on the screen as if that was going to be like the mass production one. But then they're like, oh no, everyone likes the Demon's driver more. We could sell more of those because it's better. Until I see everything in the show, and like obviously these are rumors, like, and let's face it, most of the rumors for Gotchard have been correct so far, so I have no reason to doubt these rumors. But it's still one of those things. Once I see a toy listing, or I see box art, or I see it in the show, that's what I'll like put more stock into it, I guess. But I don't like the idea of any of it.
Another thing that people have been talking about is that your friend Vaseline out here will become Kamen Rider Vaseline.
Yes.
Because of the process. And it's just like, look, it seemed obvious. I was in the camp that I hope they don't do this. Because the way that the character currently is, I don't want him becoming a Kamen Rider. I like him being his own thing. And what happened to the day of people being their own thing that wasn't a Kamen Rider? That's what I wanted. But now everybody in their
mind, Shadow Moon to be a Kamen Rider, even.
Exactly. And that was my entire issue with so many things. Is like, can we just go back to basics on some of these aspects? But no, if you don't have Kamen Rider in front of your name, you don't apparently print money. So we'll make Valverade Kamen Rider Valverade. So
lame.
I'm not hype. Lindsay says, What's with Toku shows these days making daddy mommy issues as vehicles to move their plot forward? It seems like the people that are writing these shows nowadays are people of my generation, meaning that my generation is a generation filled with divorce. So they have a lot of like mommy and daddy issues and things like that. And now that my generation has gotten old enough to be able to write a lot of these shows and spearhead them, then they're just injecting the plot of 90s kids into the current generation, because yes, that was a big thing when my generation was younger. We typically lived in single parent households. I was raised by my mom. My dad dipped out like when I was 2. My stepdad showed up, and not the greatest figure in the world. Those people that know my life on Discord and so on, definitely not the greatest man in the world. So yeah, it really just seems like it's a vehicle now for the people that write the shows. Normally try and inject a little bit of their own selves, what they know, because when it comes to writing, one of the biggest things that people tell other aspiring writers is write what you know, not what you think. And if you know issues with parent issues, then you're probably going to be at the forefront of doing what you do best. And that seems to be what's going on now. It's a generational thing. It's literally a generational thing. Anyone else want anything to throw into that?
The only mommy issues I have is the fact that Jeremy's mom is no longer on the show. That's the only mommy issues I see currently going on.
Look, I can quickly replay for you last week's episode in screenshot form only.
Listen, I actually watched the stream, and I was working on a freaking nice Google slide, but Cloudy's not here, so I'm going to wait.
Cloudy's got a leak in his roof, and I think it's because Jeremy's mom heard him and was just like, well, I'm going to leak all over this roof for you.
Jealous. My roof is fine. Damn it.
And I'm just like, man, must suck in New York. But you know what sucks even more? Not Jeremy's mom. Because we got so much of her last week. Boy.
Oh, look at that Chung Li thighs. Damn.
Oh.
I didn't know spider legs were edible.
Right there. Just right there. All of that. And I mean, look, she won the waifu wars last week. It was by a slim margin. Slim margin, I must reiterate, but still. Still got it. Still got it going on. And out there, like the size comparison, just out there just throwing hands. This is great. It's great.
Oof.
But yeah, that was Jeremy's mom.
Speaking of
got it going on.
Really quick, because you mentioned things being bad in New York. Did you hear that someone shit on the floor at New York Comic Con?
Ew.
Yeah.
That's funny, but ew.
It's so funny. There's actually news articles going around about it. Just like literally in the celebrity area where you go to meet and greets and take photos and they have their booths and stuff. Just literally poop on the ground. And I was like, I was like, I don't know why. This is when you mentioned New York, that's the first thing up. Popped the bed. I was like,
the thing is, you said that, and I got flashbacks to Best Buy back when I used to work there, because there was a customer at the time, and I remember this thought very, very vividly. And
no person.
This was, I was there in person.
Well, no, someone thought it was a pet. I'm like, no, this is a human. Like,
no. So there's this one person that had an issue at customer service. And as they were walking out the door, because they were like, first of all, hooting and hollering, everybody was coming over to see what was going on. And then you just see them like walk out and be like, you know what? Fuck Best Buy. Pull down their pants, like shit on command on the ground and just storm out. And we were like, that really just happened?
That's some jackass Dave England shit right there.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that would shit on command, but apparently this person could. Either they had it cooking or what? Like they just felt it in their stomach and they were like, you know what? I'm going to let this shit out right now, literally. But they just shat on the floor. We were like, okay, who's gonna clean that up?
Not
Who's
it.
gonna clean that up? We literally had to put the biohazard signs all over the place.
You
So
have to.
yeah,
You have to do that when that
Yeah.
happens. You never know.
that's look, shit happens sometimes, and I saw it happen in real time. So when you said that, I just got flashbacks to my Best Buy days.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a thing that happened.
I think like ages ago there was like a rugby player they like shit in the hotel hallway, and I think someone like during the Pokemon World Championships did it as well ages ago.
Wow,
They're my random poop stories that I know.
that's terrible, terrible. All right, so anything else we got to say about poop or Kamen Rider Legend, or the two together? Legendary poop.
I see no difference.
People are just gonna start tuning in like, oh, these are the guys that hate Kamen Rider. Like they just keep shitting on it. It's like, no, it shits on itself.
Get on the floor.
It's just there. But new show was teased this week, and it was yet another Garo show coming up. Hopefully, they don't have something that I'm gonna have to spend my money on. Yeah,
I hope so.
But yeah, so this is a continuation of the Ryuga-verse of the Garo shows. So for those of you that are unaware, Garo has multiple different timelines. The first timeline that follows Koga is the first continuity. Now, when the Ryuga show started, it initially seemed to be connected to the first Garo series. But they later retconned that, did a course correction, and said no, because a lot of people were raising up a stink about, wait, you mean the previous Garo failed? You mean Koga actually failed at what he did? No, but Koga was the GOAT. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. So they later like retconned all that stuff and said, no, it's within its own continuity. This all takes place in a separate timeline, all that stuff. But yeah, so we have a continuation to this show. Now, this show had, I think it was like 2 seasons, several movies, a side special that was starting Masahiro Inoue, aka Decade, as Jinga, who was a villain, then villain turned anti-hero type shit. I did not watch the Jinga season at all. I watched like the first 2 episodes and I was like, nah, only so much I can take of this guy. But I did watch the actual season, the Gold Storm and all that stuff that went along with this. It was hard to disconnect from the original season in the beginning because this was the first Garo offshoot. So if you watch the original Garo continuity first and then watch this show, there's so many like conflicting things. But the thing is, at the time, it was meant to be part of that continuity. They retconned it later on. So for me, as a week-to-week watcher, it threw things off. But apparently, there's more story to be told within this continuity. And they went ahead and showed us that once again, Garo can have some of the best suits out there. Because, I mean, just look at this.
That's a suit.
That's such a fucking goddamn sexy suit.
This is how you do gold.
Yeah.
Right here.
That-
Not Kamen Rider
yeah.
Legendary wet fart. You do this right here.
That
And I'm just like,
cool.
so many of the acts, I'm just like, this so goddamn good. This is so good. You can feel so much of this. Like the shine from it, all the texture work. This took hours, days, maybe even weeks to just put together and make sure that it was just A1 top tier.
I want to wear this every day.
And we can just stay here and gush over this suit.
We should.
For like the next hour. So let's go ahead. I look, once again, the Garo design is really good, very articulate, very like there's a reason why they haven't left from Garo in terms of Garo being the star, but I really wish they would, because it would allow them to diversify their portfolio when it comes to all of these really good suit designs, as opposed to just making so many variants on the same suit. Because once again, this is a variant on the Garo suit in itself, but they kind of shoehorned themselves into making this franchise mostly 90% of the time Garo. Even though there's other Makai Knights within this series. Of course, the first time that we saw the suit from this continuity, it was not completely gold. It was regaining its luster because it was a suit that was tarnished in black and gold, which is still, once again, really good color combination. So I know Ash is probably like black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. So Ash, how do you feel about, like, knowing nothing about Garo, as you do, you probably know a little bit.
I know nothing. Like, I just know the show's called Garo. And
all right,
you keep
how's this suit for you? How's this practical ass suit for you? This is a real suit
looks
someone wears.
Fucking awesome. I love it. Like, this looks great.
Kind of gives me flashbacks to back in the day when the CW got the rights to Garo, and we were all like in anticipation of like, oh man, how bad is this going to be? How are they going to ruin that suit? How are they going to transform? He literally just waves the sword in the air and just transforms.
Mm-hmm. That happened.
But luckily, they never made anything with it. But this, oh my god, even the silver accents up in here, like
so much detail into it. I love it.
I'll be like, Stegosaurus. Think you can make a suit?
Get that STL file ready. Get that thing printed out. Because this is something that, I can't. Like, I could try making this from foam. Ain't no way it's gonna. No, this has to be like 3D printed.
You could maybe 3D print the bulk of it and do some of the detail stuff in foam attached to it, but not. I don't know. I'd probably 3D print the whole thing, honestly.
Because the thing is, even the undersuit is like printed and.
Well, the connector's right there, and yeah, it's just a simple overstitch, which is not. That could be done with a undersuit. That's not that bad, but like that detail, that's got to be 3D. Like. I never said this before about a suit. I would do butt stuff with the suit. Like,
yeah, I'd fuck this suit too.
Like, dude, that's.
Oh yeah, I'd completely lick the nipples off this thing. And
like,
they're gone
I'm not even a furry, right? So this is like an armored Digi-Evolution on a furry. Like this shit. Like, I need some fan fiction about this. Like jokes aside, this is like a beautiful fucking suit. Like,
yeah,
this. I want a SH figure of this. I want the real action here, like the raw statue, like this, like $400. Like damn, it's just
like even all Toku. Like the like engravings going on within everything here, like the finer details of it all. Like, see, I would do looking at the final details. This is good. This is great. So look, chat, rate this suit. Between like all the different S's to F. What do you think? What do you think on this suit? It's like goddamn sexy ass suit. Like, even then, like the Garo suits are typically really, really good. Once again, even the original Garo suit was really good, but this one just takes like, you know what? Let's just take all the finer details and make even more final detail, like just make it so damn great. And I'm just like, well, how do you raise the bar from here? Well, you make this Sonic on the side.
Now, Pumpkin, you said it looks like AI art. Well, compared to Kamen Rider Legend, it is AI art. Actually interesting.
Got it.
This is like, this is why I'm glad we don't get Garo every year, because the quality would go down. Because like, man, you know how much time probably took just into designing this. Like,
oh yeah, even if they had like a base for at least the helmet in itself, and the frills on the collar and things like that, because once again, this is Ryuga's suit, so he's gonna have that collar.
Yeah, the collar looks good on. Like, it's like this
looks like they tried taking the anime style of the Garo suits, because if you've seen a couple of the Garo animes, they went very articulate with some of their suits, but then just properly transformed it into live action, and it's great.
This probably took a 4-year break from the last Garo. They probably spent 3 years just making the suit and then being like, should we write a story for it? It's like, what's the story gonna be about? How good this suit is? It's like, good point.
Probably.
Like,
I mean, even looking at some of this paint job, there's like certain chipping that's gone in here, the proper weathering effects, and sexy ass suit. This is one of my favorite Toku suits I've ever looked at.
I look at the suit the way in Wayne's World, Wayne looked at that guitar in that shop that he waited to buy. Like, I'm just like, and I would climb that bad boy on the stairway to heaven. Wait, there's no stairway allowed.
See, Alex says, imagine if this suit was in Geki Ranger versus the lion suit in the show. Well, first of all, that would be kind of difficult because as great as this suit is, I can't imagine that they'd be able to rock all of the techniques, all the fighting styles that they typically do in Geki Ranger with this type of suit. Maybe they could. But there'd be some paint chipping, and they don't want that. They don't want that.
Mm.
That's if it was made out of like movable material, but I can't imagine that this is proper movable material because Garo has a mix in of proper suit and then CG for a lot of the action, because the action articulates itself in a way that just doesn't work with the way the suit properly is. Because with all these details, there's no way they could put this on a regular ass like action suit. If they did, it's going to look like crap when you freeze frame, and you'll be able to point it out and be like, oh, this ain't the same suit. That gold ain't glistening like that.
Dude, this is the quality of suit they should have used when they did that Legends of Zodiac film. Like, this is the armor style. This
the Knights of the Zodiac?
Knights of Zodiac, not Legends. Yeah. This is what it should. Like, they should put this quality in it. Because, like, man, I'm sorry. We're going to get a lot of Garo fans next year when this drops. Like, a lot of people like this, like Garo, because recently all the Blu-rays were on sale during Prime days, and I picked up the ones I was missing. So, I look forward to it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of Gotchard, I should do a. Technically, I cut a Garo review like when I started my YouTube channel. I just never uploaded it, but that's going to be jarring in comparison.
I could put my Garo folder in the place. I got everything.
No, I've got.
Oh, you got. I know you got it too. Yeah, I got it all in chronological order too. So.
Yep.
I was already going to start rewatching Garo once I finished Live Man and Jetman, and then I was going to be like, let me jump into Garo again.
I mean, my entire thing, if I was to talk about Garo, would be explaining the continuity of things, just because, it's a multiverse in a ways. So this one does not fit into. If you watched Garo 2006, it's not that show.
Yeah,
it's a different show, different continuity. There's multiple different continuities when it comes to Garo, so you have to be aware that it doesn't all fit into the same thing, but there are several shows within their own continuities that do work, and you got to know the actual pecking order when it comes to all this.
Can we talk about the ears and how that black kind of blends in, like shading into the gold on those ears? The detail. See, this is why I like Ultraman. You know, I like the simplicity of the suits. That's what I enjoy about Ultraman. Garo, I'm just like, give me these tasty ass suits. Like, what's Kamen Rider? I don't know what the hell. Like, no.
It's like Garo takes several long breaks, and I still remember after the first season ended, we were wondering, is that it? Is this just a one-off? Are we done? And it literally took years before we got more Garo. And they were like, this is what we're cooking. And we're like, oh, shit, this is great. And then it took another couple of years before they were like, okay, this is what we're cooking again. It's like Garo just keeps leaving the headspace, coming back in. And when they come back in, it's just like, all right, we see why you guys took a break.
And I think we talked about it too when they announced the sword. We were talking about pre-ordering it. That's that. I'm like, I hope this is like the leading to more Garo stuff, and then it's like not even a month later, a show.
There it is. There it is.
Right.
More
Mm.
good suit. Because I'm just like,
Mm.
it's a really good suit.
Because like, yes, this is the TokuTonic shift. Yeah, we mainly talk about toys and then like Kamen Rider and Super Sentai when we feel like watching Blazar. But it's like there is so
well.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped reviewing. I'm still watching it, but like, there's still like, there's a lot in the Toku that like a lot of people don't realize because everyone is stuck on the big three. Whereas like you have things like Garo, Dogengers, you've got High School Heroes, you've got Waku Saver and the movie, you've got
you
all
won't
these...
lay down from that. I heard they had a
No.
crossover with
don't give me
we get the greater Gigaverse.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I could review Waku Saver, but not like the actual Waku Saver and get away with it?
No, the shows are fine.
Yeah,
the episodes
show's
are fine. It's the movie.
It's the movies that are not safe for work.
No, the movies are not safe for work at all.
That's the kind that you got to make sure your door's locked, the blinds are closed, and all that stuff as you're watching
your wife's
it.
asleep in the other room.
Yep.
You put the air conditioner on so it makes enough background noise so no one knows what you're
watching.
Look,
that's me when I was watching a Kai Ringo. I was like, nobody home? Nobody home? All lights off? All lights off? All right, good. Oh my gosh, she's sucking him off. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's like, that's what, no. Slow down your chip. But yeah, no, Waku Saver. If Waku Saver from an episode standpoint is safe, I was actually starting to film some reviews for it while it was actually releasing episodes. And then I was like, well, how do I review the movie? I was like, I'm gonna have to put that behind a paywall somewhere because I can't.
YouTube memberships, they got those.
I
don't want to
even
activate those. That's no.
Yeah, I think even the YouTube bot would not like that being uploaded.
I'd have to do a direct upload on Only Henshin's. Be like, here you guys go. There you. It's like, Mark, why are you reviewing this without pants on? It's like, because I wasn't wearing any when I watched it.
Hey, you could always just do a members only stream and then just delete the stream afterwards.
True. Wait, I forgot where I was going. Oh yeah, but like Garo, all the other Toku outside of like the big ones, and it's like kind of nice when we get an announcement like this, because then we get to talk about it. Because like as much as I like Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, it's like we got some Garo. It's like yay, and
that's
I'm
a rarity.
Talking about it next year, because
yes,
Garo.
This drops next year, in which case, look, I fell off in Jenga, so I'm probably gonna have to watch that to catch on up. So I'll just watch that on my own time, because Toku Rewind's not gonna let me do that because we got other shit on the docket for Toku Rewind for the next couple of weeks.
Would you be able to technically get away from? Would you be able to get away with streaming that on Twitch since it does have a US distributor?
Yes.
I don't know how much they care about that stuff. I know like my rule is like, hey, if it got streamed on like Shout Factor or anything, like I'm not gonna stream it anywhere.
Look, I've streamed Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, and the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, and I didn't get hit with anything on Twitch.
That's because Hasbro don't care. Hasbro doesn't care about Power Rangers. They're like, oh wow, someone's watching it. That's cool. We don't even care.
I think the only way to test that out is if I watched, say, like Shin Godzilla or something like that, and see if something pops up during that.
I'm trying to see. I thought they'd made an announcement on when it was gonna start airing, but I can't.
And the Elgato camera got you.
I think it's starting in. Oh, it did. Son of a bitch. It looks like it's gonna start streaming or start airing in January. Something about January.
Yeah, so like I've got a question. As someone who's never seen Garo, should I jump into the Ryuga-verse now or just wait for this to drop online?
Watch the Ryuga-verse because this is Ryuga's actor. This is Ryuga.
Okay.
This is the same guy.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was wondering if I should like go in blind.
When they did their announcement on, they've got a website up, but it was Ryuga's actor, and I'm like, ooh, he aged.
All right.
Because he showed on up, and I was like, has it been 10 years? Because I'm just like, you haven't. Damn, why'd it hit you so hard? Age just hits folks so hard sometimes. I'm trying to pull up the website. Let's see here. Pull that up, and if it'll.
Why is it not working? My camera's locked.
Fix your shit.
Try to fix it. I don't know what's going on. I swear, like, it's the software. The software, this thing fucking hates me. Now it's saying I don't have any cameras plugged in at all. There we go. Screw it. Fixed it. But yeah, January. So it's October. We have time.
So yeah, going into the announcement, it's Ryuga's actor and all that stuff that's on here on the official website.
Dude, if it is drip in this, is just like.
Well, then again, he had a similar fit back in his first show. It's just now he's just older.
He's I can't wait. Can't wait. I'm excited. Especially because my.
So yeah, he's just really talking through all this stuff on here, but yeah. So since it is tied into the Ryugaverse, you have to watch the Ryuga shows first.
Yeah, and that's the 2012 series.
2013, according to the website here. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it has been 10 years, I guess, since this show came out.
Is that the only one I need to watch? The 25th, or is there other ones?
He's got subsequent series and some movies tied into it. I don't think you have to watch Jinga, but they might tie in Jinga into it.
Okay.
So all that is going into that. But yeah, more Garo stuff. That's not Versus Road that I was so uninterested in.
I kind of liked Versus Road. It was fun. The action was good, but I am just super excited that I get Garo and Blade 20th anniversary starting in January. So I'm going to be extra obnoxious now.
Also, your camera is lagging behind your voice.
Son of a bitch!
Mine?
I don't like the internet.
Marks.
I blame the internet.
I think it does that a lot for everyone with this program. It lags behind.
It might just be because you're not using like the raw cam footage and it's behind all the.
I actually closed out of the camera hub, so I'm using the camera directly, which is why nothing is blurred anymore. Because I was like, screw it.
Well, all right. Anything else we got to discuss? We talked Garo, we talked Legend, we talked superhero time. Kind of a slow news week, but hey, we got some more Garo news, and I've got shit coming in the mail.
Nice.
I'll try to see if there's any new toy announcements.
No, not really.
As you lag your way through you saying all that.
Yep.
Which, let me take a look real fast based off of what I spent money on, because I do have, the Kabuto CSM coming soon. They actually just shipped that. Finally. I did order the Legend belt for Fies, but that's literally so I can rework it into the Orga driver for my cosplay.
Makes sense.
Because I'm like, it's $35. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. It's still a reason why anyone would buy that. There's no. None of the. I mean, I'm waiting. I'm gonna be doing a video fairly soon because once the rest of my cards come in, because I do actually have all the Kemi cards now. So I won the internet.
God, the amount of time that you're lagging on video versus what you're talking.
Dude, my videos, it's funny because like I load it up YouTube on my phone, and my video's not lagging there, which is weird.
It's lagging for me on here. I don't
Oh,
know
yours
how it
does
looks like
that
for
too.
chat.
Yours sometimes freezes, and I'll hear you, and then it'll be it's this freaking Streamlabs shit. I swear.
Oh,
But yeah,
weird.
I don't know. I was looking at toys, like it's a slow new, like from a pre-order standpoint, slow week. Nothing really, new. I'm glad because I got that stupid Megazord for $1,600 pre-ordered, so I don't want anything else to pop up.
Yeah, you kind
Wait,
of won
which-
Toku debt with that one, so you're.
Let's come out next
which
year.
Wait, hold the
Thunder
which
Megazord.
oh that one. I was thinking
big one?
What did
Yeah.
you call it? Okay.
That big ass one. I showed my wife. My wife's like, "That's so cool," and I missed out on the Megazord and the Dragonzord one. I'm like, I'm not missing out on this because it's one of my
Did
favorite.
you tell her the
Megazords.
price of it?
Yeah. And she said, "Well, I guess you're gonna have to work more." And I was like,
Yeah,
then she looked at me. She's like,
I'll-
"Yeah, because you're you." And I was like, "Well, I got my first YouTube payout." She's like, "You're going to have to make more videos if you want to pay for that." And I was like, "Wow." I was like, okay.
I'm gonna have to wait for like an Australian retailer to get that because that's gonna cost me like an arm and a leg to import that.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I didn't get to TokuLectables because TokuLectables is $1,900, and I was like, and they're not even doing free shipping through TokuLectables. They'll tell you when it's released how much shipping is going to be. So that's like going to be like $2,100 to them.
I mean, sometimes shipping still ends up being free after it comes out. So
not for that. I've seen.
Yeah, I'm guessing not for that with how big it is.
They're
It's a
heavy.
statue.
They would lose more money.
Let's see. Are we going to talk about the Geats Gotchard stuff? I don't know. Do I want to talk about mid with mid?
Oh, where Geats has been now again? I mean, it's been. I'm just joking. So Saber's not looking so bad now, huh?
I didn't even know there was Geats news to talk about.
I
guess it's that belt. That's all I've seen.
Well, some stuff from the stage show got photos like a couple hours ago got shown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay, that stuff.
And the one from the special showing us gold Geats that's just a repaint of Cross Geats in gold, and it looks good. But once again, this is shit that should have been worked into the show that they're just doing separate.
I'm sorry. How can Kamen Rider like have 2 new gold suits revealed, and then we get Garo, and it's like we're supposed to care about that gold? That's like fool's gold.
We talked about that one already. It's not worth the money it's printed on.
No.
Dragon Ball Daima. I'm not excited that they're kids again.
Dragon Ball Diaper.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag online.
The animation looks good though.
The animation definitely looks good. I'm just not excited about almost everybody being kids again or being done in that chibi art style.
From what I've heard, it might be like from what I've heard, it might be the first arc, but that's how they're starting the show. Have you seen that video of the guy at the panel going, "We don't want this, but it looks so good."
Yeah, it's.
That's the thing. The art style looks good because it looks like Dragon Ball Super Broly, but once again, it's kids, and the majority of the people that are watching this are people in our age range that grew up with this shit. And we're like, why are they kids again?
Watching Danny's video, this is meant to celebrate 40 years of Dragon Ball. Like, it's not meant to be, nothing's like confirmed. I think if it's a sequel series, but this is meant to be like a celebration series.
From what I saw, I just feel like this is Muppet Babies, but
Dragon Ball. Yeah, some of the designs I got from that, but yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm not overly excited for it. Like, I like the art style, but at the same time, I'm just like, they're kids again. This is not post End of Z, so
yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you though, like keeping Toku adjacent, at least the Ranger Rejects anime trailer and everything, that's gonna be good. I'm really.
When is that dropping?
That's dropping probably spring.
Have they dropped any trailer for Ranger Rejects?
Yeah, they did today. They did today.
Oh, I might have to react to that after this. Okay.
I have not seen that. I did hear about it.
Ranger Reject is great.
The biggest thing that I heard was that people didn't like that they weren't using the Ranger Reject name and they were using the Go-Go Loser Ranger name.
Well, it's the US name, so that's the manga's name. They're not gonna,
So they're like, no, Ranger Reject makes more sense. So
yeah, but guess what? You're gonna hit a different demographic
if you call it Go-Go Loser Ranger.
Ranger. and it's the same studio that also worked with the same creator for Quintessential Quintuplets, which just had a 2-part special come out in theaters in Japan that's being released on Crunchyroll because we like our waifus, at least I do. So if you want to balance multiple main characters properly, that anime is going to be great.
What's the animation studio that's handling this though?
Let me see.
Give me one. Oh, you handle that. I'll be.
It's going to be. Let me see. Oh, please disable your ad blocker to read this. Shut the fuck up. I like my ad blocker.
I just actually.
It's gonna be. That's a good question. Yostar Pictures is producing it.
Yostar Pictures.
Let's see. Does it have anything about the actual? But they're producing. Are they actually the studio?
Oh, have they done anything? I know. No. It's like a lot of.
I mean,
questionable.
I mean, the guy who's actually like in charge and the main director of the anime is the guy who did Char's Counterattack, Giant Robo, Victory Gundam, Ninja Resurrection, which was good, The Big O, Mazen Kaiser. So
okay, but then I look at the animation studio and I'm just like, all I see is lollies.
Yeah.
Ew.
But watching
so I'm just like,
but if you watch the trailer though, that it looks like really
good. Like,
and every studio has that weird thing. Then they have that one breakout anime. So it's like this is definitely gonna be like it's gonna be their biggest release they've worked on.
Yeah. Even I haven't heard of that anime studio. Like, it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
No. And I always look at the anime studio, but I also look at who's directing it though. So it's like
true.
And we got someone who did Gundam Unicorn. So I'm like, you know what? I trust him. My favorite Gundam.
All right. I might do a reaction for it later today.
I mean, dude, Unicorn was definitely... Well, to be fair, I was one of those people that was waiting several years for this to finally be done. So,
yeah. And, I mean, come on, those suits. Destroy mode. Banshee.
And Char's Counterattack was all right.
It was entertaining.
Until you started getting... She could have been a mother to me. Bruh, No. Stop. Please stop. Why are you guys still arguing about this? It's been like 10, 15 years. Why are you guys still arguing about this?
Oh, God. Hey, guys, live on stream, I just got my credit card statement emailed to me 3 minutes ago.
Boy. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Look,
all donations can be made to Mark at gmail.com. Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah, I keep getting suggestions. It's like make a members portion of things. And I'm like, what am I gonna offer to members besides like a members only stream? Which was one thing I was debating if I wanted to do a members only stream, and then like send the first like 11 people that say I want in links. They can join on in.
The thing is, like,
be on camera.
There's there's like so many handcuffs to what you could stream on YouTube where it's like you're better off just streaming on Twitch.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, even I've been thinking about it lately because like I do like my Saturday stream just building stuff and talking and spending money, but it's like I'm handcuffed to not only YouTube's horrible live algorithm, but also TOS.
That's why I don't stream a lot.
Like, I can't play music in the background. Like you said, remember when you jumped out, I'm surprised you don't have background. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get striked every time if I start playing music in the background. Whereas on Twitch, I could literally have Amazon Music playing and it's fine. So it's like members only stuff. It's like, man, and unless you're gonna do like a gaming stream, members only, jump in, this and that. There's very limitations to members. Because people ask me like, oh, you've got 1,000 subs, you're gonna have members now. I'm like, no. Like, I'm so inconsistent with this stuff. Now I'm gonna feel forced to do members stuff.
Well, I mean, then with member stuff, it's like maybe if you just diversify yourself enough that you can just get all that. But as long as you don't show just a black screen, then you should be good.
Listen, that only happened once. Almost happened last week, but I saved it by ending the stream. No, my internet went out because I should have waited, but I got fiber the day it was available. And luckily for the last 2 months, I've had a lot of issues. And thanks to those issues, my bill, I keep getting bill credit. So I've paid like barely half my internet bill for the last 2 months. So I'm like, hey, I'm okay with like a little it just happens to be Saturday afternoon every time it happens, or in the middle of the afternoon on like a Monday or Tuesday. So I'm like, oh, when I'm home, this happens.
Works.
Yeah.
So. All right. So are we calling it? It's like 11:30.
Yeah. I'd say we'd call it early if you wanna.
It seems to be that case. So, Ash, what you got to promote?
You can find me over at Deoxy360 on the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Freds, the Instagrams, whatever social media's around these days. Next video I am cooking is the history of Power Rangers home releases. So I'm sort of recapping like the beginning of Power Rangers being released on VHS, and it sort of caps off with where we are now and if we will see future DVD releases. So I've been working on that video for a while. I scripted it a while ago, and then I tweaked it, and I recorded it all last weekend, and now this past week I've been editing it, like adding bits and pieces to it. It's halfway done, I say with quotation marks, like I've nearly put all the videos together on the timeline, and then I've just got to sort of tweak a few things and add a couple of things to it.
Great. Mark, what you got to promote?
Ash over here making original content. Nerd named Mark on everything. Yes, I'm still making YouTube videos. Stop commenting like your condolences. Like literally, like I feel like you guys are like, oh, we're sorry. Like, yeah,
you didn't take a proper break like I did.
No, I literally was just like, I just don't want to watch review Kamen Rider, and everyone's like, I'm like, I'm just not doing comic. I work at other stuff. I got some comic book reviews coming up soon because DC is killing it. Power Rangers, Darkest Hour, go pick it up. Like it's good.
Radiant Black in a week.
Radiant Black is finally coming back after like almost 4 months. I missed it. They had their Comic-Con stuff today.
It seems longer.
July 20th is when 25 came out. So it does it. So it's exactly 3 months, almost exactly 3 months since the last time we got an issue.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, the Dead Lucky has been killing it. And so
I need to catch up on Dead Lucky and Rogue Sun. I've got volume 2 of Rogue Sun sitting there. Yeah. Dead Lucky I need to catch up on.
Well, Dead Lucky's listed as a 12-issue run online. Oh. So I don't think it's an ongoing, and they're like 9 or 10 issues in. So it's almost over.
I thought it was going to be a 5-issue run, and then I think it got extended.
They were going to do the original like 5 or 6, and they extended it. Hopefully it does. But yeah, get that stuff. And I do plan on making some Garo content. And there is a big video where I'm going to be showing off all my Chemi cards because, you know, I have those. And I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow because my model kits didn't get delivered for Drive and Wizard.
Oh,
yeah. Kind of sad about that. And I don't feel like building Fang Joker.
Just stream random shit and then send me a link and I'll probably be working on cosplay.
Right. I was thinking about that, and I'm actually contemplating streaming on Twitch starting towards the end of the month. Just because I feel weird adding gaming streams to my YouTube channel on top of everything. I'll just destroy the whole entire algorithm for myself if I start doing video games on there. So, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I don't know what I'm going through identity crisis right now, so I don't even know what I want to do.
Well, as far as Discord's concerned, join the Discord server. It's always been on the descriptions of all my videos that people don't look at. It's always there. It's there. People just don't look at them. But another thing is starting tomorrow on Twitch, new round of Toku Rewind. So, of course, if you missed out on last week's stream on Twitch, of course, Twitch is not just relegated to gaming, so people think that. So they're like, oh, he has a Twitch. I'm not going to follow that because they don't watch people that watch games or anything like that. No. We watch Toku on Twitch. That's what we do. We just can't do that on YouTube. So during this round of Toku Rewind, the people have spoken. The algorithm has spoken. The polls have spoken. We went through multiple different ways to get this. I had everybody submit one Toku show. One Toku show. We spun it on a wheel. We picked our 4 Toku shows from that wheel, and then we let people vote on a straw poll. However, didn't realize that I was going to pick the highest rated show and the lowest rated show. And that is how we picked what we're watching this upcoming cycle. In which case, first up, tomorrow night, we're going to be watching the first 3 episodes of Ultraman Orb, followed by the first 3 episodes of Power Rangers Operation Overdrive.
Oh.
So I guess
2
Orb was the
shows
highest rated.
2 shows I've not watched. This is the first time we're having a Toku Rewind in which I don't know both shows that we watched. So yeah. That's going to be the cycle up until we finish both of those shows.
Are you watching Orb Origin Story or just Orb?
Orb.
Okay. I was just wondering if you're going to hit up the Origin Story.
I don't know anything. I just, after that stream was over, I went ahead and popped up the websites we can't talk about on YouTube, downloaded both of those shows, and I got them. So we're good. Yeah. So, with that being said, any last second things before we close out everything?
Dilly garlic pickles are amazing.
Okay. Well then, in that case, bye.